Hey, good morning all of my gardening friends. So today we've got so many things that we want to work on. I don't even know where to start. We honestly have so many projects going on the property. We need to do the stone walls, or the stone, I don't even know what you would call it, the stone around the sides of the porch on the garden house that we just renovated. We are expanding a flower bed over on the kitchen side of the house. We are working on the backyard where my husband just installed the stone retaining wall. We need to dig up all of that grass and weeds and kind of reshape that hillside so we can mulch and eventually plant more of the incredible hydrangeas back there. Oh, what else do we have? I don't know. There's just so much going on. And we think we have a plan, but plans change because there might be rain, there might not be rain. We'll just see what happens. But I want to show you all the plants that I got yesterday. I went to Walmart to get some mulch because I found the best deal there. It was $2 a bag. So got a truck full. You can see way out in the distance we have a truck full of mulch. And then I've got all my plants on the golf cart. So let's go check them out. You want to go check out other plants? All right, let's go. So again, we'll see what we get accomplished today. Y'all got to make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel so that you can see all of the things that we're doing, because I am like a squirrel running all over the place. We don't focus on one project at a time. We do 100 projects at the same time. So if you want to see everything and follow along on the entire process of all of these crazy things that we have happening, best thing to do is to click the notification bell so you get notified when we do new videos, because it's crazy over here. But let me show you all these plants. I picked up a tray, well, 5 sweet potato vine. They were $1 a piece on clearance, so I couldn't pass that up. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. I thought about even putting them in the landscape just to fill in some space and let it just kind of go wherever it wants. I don't know if that's a really bad idea. It might be a really bad idea because I know that these things get humongous when you have them in containers. But I mean, $1. Show me the petunias. So pretty. We got these for $2 a piece. Aren't they beautiful? So beautiful. So this is our whole tray right here. We've got lots and lots of flowers. She is such a helper. Oh my word. You're such a helper. Yeah. See the pretty flowers? Those are bubblegum petunias. So this one right here is called the wide brim hosta. It gets 18 inches tall, 36 inches wide. I got 2 of these. This is called the American Halo, and it gets 22 inches tall, 36 to 48 inches tall. I got 2 of these. So $3 each. These will be beautiful in some of my shadier areas in the garden. So of course I had to grab them. Hostas are gorgeous. I got 2 containers like this that are the pre-made containers, $5 each on clearance. I have some pansy containers still on my front porch that I have not pulled yet. If you saw a previous video recently, I just cut them back, hoping that maybe they would flesh out some, but we're gonna have some 90-degree temperatures here soon, so they're definitely not gonna survive that. So I'm gonna just stick these in those containers, and they are not looking like excellent right now. That's why they were on clearance, obviously, but I mean, with a little tender loving care, they're gonna be beautiful, and they're gonna fill out those containers. There's some different verbena and then lobelia and petunias in these containers. So I think they're really pretty. $5 a piece. Can't beat that. And then I got 2 of these trailing vinca hanging baskets, $3 a piece. $3. I mean, you buy a pack of seeds for $3. And I know that some of these leaves are yellow, so I'm gonna kind of, you know, help it along a little bit. And I don't know exactly where I'm gonna put these. I might put them in some containers on the porch or in the courtyard, or I might just transplant them out into the flower beds just because it was so pretty. This is Calabrosia. It was not on clearance, but it was only $9.88. Yeah, $9.88. And I need something for my table in front of the greenhouse. Last year I had some Calabrosia over there, and it did really well. Even though I wasn't the absolute best at keeping it watered, I did try. But it did great. And so I wanted more Calabrosia, and I thought this little color combination was so pretty. It spoke to me. So we're gonna put it on that table over there. I'm gonna need to repot it because I'm not into like the purple pot, but I'll put it in like a terracotta pot or something, and it's gonna be so pretty. So anyways, those are the plants that I picked up. But over on the other side of the house where I've already got all the plants laid out, we're gonna go over there and adjust it a little bit because I've been watching the sun and the shade throughout the day, and it's kind of tricky, but we'll talk about it when we get over there. So actually, before we head over to that side of the flower bed, I am gonna go ahead and unload so I can clear off the golf cart, because I can't take the golf cart over there anymore because we have the formal garden and I have to do it by a wagon or just by hand, which is totally fine. But let's go ahead and unload what we're gonna put in containers up here on the front porch. All right, you guys, I create so much more work for ourselves when I go to the garden centers. And because I was able to get all of these plants on clearance, except for the sunshine ligustrum, I brought those home from Creekside Nursery. So anyways, we're expanding this. All right, so this is the area that we are expanding out here, where you see all of these plants and flowers just sitting on the grass. I've got some sunshine ligustrum. There's 3 of them. I've got 1, 2, 3. Those are a Southern Living plant, evergreen, lime green interest, year round. I'm so excited about those. And then I've got some smaller spirea, 2 right there, 3 right here. These are the little spark. They are supposed to have a lime green foliage as well. I got these on clearance, and they are a first editions plant. They weren't looking so hot, but look all the new growth that's coming up on them. So these are going to be little spark. It's 18 to 24 tall, 18 to 30 wide, full sun to part shade. So that's what these actually will be getting over here. So I want them on the front of the border. I'm trying to make this border pretty maintenance free. I don't want to have to do a lot over here because my cottage garden requires so much work. So if I have those along the front of the border, and then those vinca that I got on clearance in those hanging baskets, I might end up putting them over here just to fill up the bed this year. Maybe not, I don't know. I've got some weigela. This is the spilled wine weigela right here. I have 2 of these. Again, these were clearance plants. These get 2 to 3 foot tall, 3 to 4 foot wide, and are gorgeous when they bloom out. And then they give me a really pretty red foliage the rest of the year, or not the rest of the year. It is not evergreen, but I think really pretty, especially back here behind these gold spireas, and then the gold of the ligustrum back here. I've got those 2 white drift roses that I dug out of some containers over on the garden house. I might stick them out here just to give them a place to go and see how they do, if they will get full sun over here on this end of the garden. Another vinca basket, I might end up planting that vinca out here. I've got my bubblegum petunias and those potato vines I just stuck out here. I don't know if they're going to go in this bed or not. But that's also a spilled wine. So these are the smaller versions of the weigela. This is a larger one right here, which is why I stuck it in the center. This one is called Wine and Roses. It gets 4 to 5 foot tall and wide. I have this over in my cottage garden, and it was spectacular this year. I only planted it out last year, and for it to perform the way it did this year was phenomenal. And so I'm so excited to have more, and very pleased with how this particular weigela has performed. So got that here in the bed. And then I pulled my Blushing Bride hydrangea in this container. I had it over near the greenhouse, It was in some shade because it was closer to the garage and the overhang, but it's getting really large for this container. So I might end up potting, or I might end up transplanting it into the ground here soon. However, I think it looks beautiful right here in the container. So for this year, because I don't want to stress it out either, I think it might be better just to leave it in the container and let it do its thing. But then I've got this Florida Sunshine Elysium back here, and I believe, if I am recalling correctly, it is also an evergreen. It gives you that lime green foliage and is good for part shade to shade. So I think that will be perfect right there. And then I have these 3 Let's Dance Skyview hydrangeas that Proven Winners sent me. Whoop, kitty tail. They are gorgeous. I have 2 of these over in my shade flower garden by the goat house, and they are looking so beautiful. This one's already got some really nice blooms on it, but I've got one right there, one right here, and then one right here. I think it'll create a really big mass. They normally get 3 to 4 foot tall and wide, I believe. I'll have to double check that, but I think it's gonna be really, really pretty. The way the sun works over here is the sun rises over that direction. So it comes up, I get filtered sun right in here early in the morning. You can see it kind of hitting right in this area right now. So filtered sun, but this all stays pretty much in the shade. This section until about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and then it slowly moves over this way. So by noon, this is starting to get into the sun, and then it continues over this way all the way to here. Then I believe 1 or 2 o'clock until 5 o'clock, this will be in the sun. The front plants, like the spirea, will get sun before the hydrangea back there. That stuff in the very back will stay shaded longer. So I'm still kind of watching the way the sun is working. I might need to move my sunshine ligustrums over more towards the left so they get sun quicker, because I want them to have that lime green foliage, and if they get too much shade, they're going to revert more to just a regular green, which would still be pretty, but I want the lime to pop against all of the trees and the leaves in the background. And then I'm gonna start working it this direction like this. This will be the bed, okay? So those 2 boxwoods, I want to continue these boxwoods that I have along this edge. I'm gonna pull this one out and bring it into this line. And then I've got one here. I'm gonna pull it out so the Brunnera can stay back here. Might need to pull this one out. Maybe I'll leave that one and then just start curving it. I would like to move my Olivia Austin rose right here and put it maybe back in this spot, because it's kind of going to be blocking the view of everything else from the kitchen window, and I think it'll get a little more sun than what it's getting in this spot right here, although it's doing so good. Look at all that new growth, and oh, it's really starting to like its spot. So I kind of hate to move it, but I think I just need to aesthetically. And then I have 2 more roses over here as well. This is the Eustacia Vi, I think, and then I've got another Olivia Austin rose. I probably will move that one more to like the back row. I might leave that one where it is. I don't know. Anyways, I've got lots of hosta, and I forget what this plant is called. Remind me, guys. Remind me. I struggle sometimes. Oh, and then also this peony right here. It's a beautiful, really deep fuchsia burgundy type color. I might push it out further, like maybe to this spot, or maybe bring my hydrangea here and then put it where the hydrangea is so it can get more sun, because I think it would be happier if it got a little more sun than it gets. It didn't bloom that great this year, but I mean, it's only its 2nd year, so that's to be expected. So anyways, lots to do here. And then I have this bed right here where I've got these hostas that I purchased. I think I'm gonna put 3 of them dotted through here because I don't have anything else in the space. They don't get a tremendous amount of sun. That one might get a little more than it should, so we'll see how that one does, but I think I'm gonna try it anyways. And I think that'll help make this spot really pretty and fill it out. And then over on this side where I've got my gardenia and my bloomstruck hydrangea, that one hosta right here that you see, I think I'm going to stick it right here. So that's where those will go. My husband went to go get his tiller on his tractor. He's going to bring it around this side and till it up with the tractor. So super happy he's doing that for me. I was going to do the cardboard method and lay cardboard all throughout this flower bed, but if he can till it with the tractor, then I'd much rather would do that. And I probably won't do any kind of cardboard or anything because that's what we did in the formal garden, and I didn't put anything down. And that's ideal. Obviously, I'm going to save my cardboard for something else when maybe he can't get his tiller into that area. So anywho, I've got a truckload of mulch we're going to be bringing over. For now, first thing I got to do so he can get in here and till is move all of these beautiful plants out of the way. I'm going to put them on the porch so he can get in here.
This right here, big old strap, I put that in the tree. It saves the tree. It's called a tree saver, so you don't mess up your tree.
What? He didn't tell you that he's about to pull this tree down. This is that tree right there. That's a sassafras tree, and it's leaning towards the house and towards the porch. I actually like it. The leaves are really pretty, but it's probably not ideal to have, especially with it leaning towards the house. Don't want it to fall on everything. So before we plant out this garden, he's gonna pull it out. So here we go. Towards the house, even though he was pulling it that way. That scared me. That's good goat food.
All right, this is not a paid endorsement, but put on the side-by-side here, and I've had this for a while, maybe a little over a year, and I use it all the time. I call it my branch manager. And what happens is as I go around on trails on our property, I have branches that have fallen, and I will use this thing to attach to the back of the side-by-side, and so I can chop it up and just throw them in the back. And this is so handy. It keeps the log or branch, in this case, this is a tree, but it keeps it up off the ground, able to cut through without ever getting my saw nasty, the chain all in the dirt.
On the new flower bed currently because Doug is still moving all the sassafras branches and all of that out of the way, so that might take a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and plant out my hostas right here on this flower bed while I'm waiting, so I'm not staying around doing nothing.
more goat food. You see them waiting. All that other stuff's gone.
Here we go.